Hello everyone, welcome to the third dev stream of SunnySide. I was just checking the chat and there's actually quite a few of you here, so let's open Unreal. There we go, in our familiar looking debug map. So the first thing I'm going to go over, I actually written them down because I don't have a second monitor. Right, characters. So we, from the start, one of the huge things about this game is of course the characters, right? And a big selling point, and it was really annoying because we didn't have a character modeler. We couldn't do as much PR as we wanted to, like images or videos of characters, and we have the characters down, written down and even drawn, but no character models. So that was quite annoying, but thankfully we got ourselves a character modeler. Again, people on Discord, you guys probably seen him. His name is Alan, and he is working with us on SunnySide. He's not part of the team officially. He's working with us in a commission base, but he's really good at what he does, and he's really passionate about the game. So this is the character that we have, and we have changed him quite a lot. We had to modify him a few times, and we are still modifying them. I'm actually going to go over that as well. But if I go to the player folder, we have a masculine folder, and as I mentioned before, we're not gonna label things male and female. It's just gonna be masculine and feminine. And you know, as I had a conversation with you guys before in the Discord, if you haven't joined, you should. The link is, I think, somewhere down here. Yeah, you can choose yourself. You can choose your pronouns, and you can choose a body type. So you know, you're not really limited to male and female. You know, you can go crazy with that. Right, so this is the masculine body that we have, and if I can choose the correct one, hopefully. Right, so this is the masculine body, and we've changed it from this one, because he was a bit too, you know, I like the model because he looked a bit like Joker from Persona, you know, he's really lanky, he's really slim, but in some animations it looks really weird, so we had to give him some more meat, and give him a thicker neck especially. That looked kind of weird. So yeah, we fixed the model. But one more thing that I'm quite proud of is the textures that we have, the material that we have. As you can see, it's very comic-y. We have a really nice outline that is around the character, depending on what angle you're looking at them. So it's very anime. Again, very Persona. Unintentionally. I worked really hard on this material, and it just ended up looking like Persona, which I'm happy, but you know. Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lemon, for the Discord link. Awesome. So it's kind of like cell shading, right? It is technically cell shading. And, you know, since I don't have too much to talk about, let's actually have a look at that. This is the cell shader, which looks really disconcerting. It's just dismembered body parts. But, you know, if you've seen game textures, you know exactly what this is. But it is technically a cell shader I'm using. But it used to have what is called bands. And if I just give him, let's say, 3 bands, you can see that he's starting to get some of that cell shading, right? But I decided to go just bandless and make him look more flat, because I think this works a lot better for anime. It looks a lot more anime. If we have the bands, it looks, I don't know, I just don't like the style. I think with 0, it's much more flat, it's much more stylized. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, so answering to Shiny Leafy, yes, I think a big selling point of SunnySide is just the fact that the atmosphere is more Persona, the characters are more Persona. We're not really going for that whole cutesy aesthetic. It's more of a mature kind of environment, I guess. It's, yeah. So SunnySide, but you know, doing that means the game is not really going to be as casual as we thought it was going to be. Originally, we thought SunnySide is going to be a casual farming sim, but with the direction we're taking, it feels like SunnySide's going to be a lot more geared towards, you know, people who grew up with Harvest Moon or Persona, people who game a lot, like they sit for hours of sessions that are so long. But it's not going to be really a casual game anymore because it's just a lot more RPG than we intended it. But it's good. It's good. We're just letting the game take itself to those directions. Yeah, so this is the cell shader, and it works really nicely. And for you guys that have done 3D modeling, I'm going to tell you how we've achieved the outlines. Some of the outlines, as you can see, is quite chaotic. and that is intentional, of course. It's like that comic-y kind of style, anime style. But some of the outline is more accurate, especially around his, like, for example, neck. You can see it appearing and disappearing when I move him. Or this is especially pronounced around his fingers, because if we don't have this outline and you have fingers on top of each other, it's just going to fade into each other. So the way we did this for you modeling nerds is that we have 2 copies of his body mesh. So one of it is this. Yeah, it's terrifying, I know. Yeah. And you can see he still has some outlines, but then we have a copy of this mesh that the normals for it are inside out. So what happens is that it will just wrap itself around the character and give it outlines. This is a very common method of giving things outlines, and we're using that on top of a shader from Unreal that adds outlines, 2D outlines, to make sure it looks really nice and anime. So next thing I wanted to talk about are the clothes, right? So we use the same shading technique for the clothes, and we have a lot of categories for them. Currently, it's the basic set that you guys seen before. So in the top, for example, we have a jacket. It's shaded in the same way that the body was shaded. So you have a rim light, you have the outline. Looks really nice. And Alan, our character modeler, actually does texturing as well, obviously. And he hand draws all of our textures, which I think just looks absolutely lovely. And sometimes it looks a bit rough, but I think that's part of the charm of it, because it's hand drawn. Like if you get really close to this backpack, for example, you can start to see the pixels, but I think that really adds a lot more charm to it, because sometimes someone drew this by hand, and it adds again to the stylizedness of. Right, the next thing I wanted to talk about are the hairstyles. So I give you guys a little glimpse of them before. We had that tweet that went up, and also on the Discord we had the picture, but I can actually show you guys how they look in game. So these are the hairs, really tiny, obviously. So let me open one up. This one, the Goku style one. Yeah, again, very stylized. I don't think I have the outlines turned on for this, so let's do that right now. So there we go, inline. So yeah, we have this hair, and then there's the third style. There we go. This is more like a yaoi boy kind of style, I guess. And then we have the Levi style, which is my favorite, actually, this one. And let's actually just put it on the player and have a look at him. So if I open him up, we can quickly change his mesh for his hair. Oh, he already has that hair. But just to show you guys how that would look, different hairs would look on him. There we go. That one. Then we have this one, crazy, and then the original, which is I'm just gonna call it the homeless style. There we go. And yeah, we can jump into the game. So let's just press play. So this is the debug map, as I've mentioned before, and this is our character, and you can have a look at his animations now. Now, animations, right? I think that his programming on the side of animation is absolutely perfect, because he can climb things, he can when you run, he does a quick movement, and then he starts playing his running animation. He breaks his fall. He does all these really cool stuff, but the base animations are still not looking too great. For example, and that's because we need either an animator or a mocap suit. I'm more like looking towards getting a mocap suit, because that means we can do a lot more, and I don't have to rely on, again, another person to make me animations. I can just do them myself, and I can go crazy with them. But either way, if you look, he looks a bit too stiff, especially his shoulders, right? The shoulders are actually modeled correctly. It's just the animations look a bit too buff, I guess. This is your default animation for every game, because most games, your character is ready to attack at any point, and he has that fighting, ready to fight stance, I guess. So that's one thing we're going to change. We're going to give him much more of a relaxed pose, and he's going to do some, random animations if you don't move him for a while. I mean, those are the basic stuff, but that's the direction we're going to take. But for now, I'm going to show you guys how his animations look on his character model. You've seen him before on that robotic looking character, the Unreal mannequin. But now, obviously, we have, the final mesh where we can go around. So, you can obviously walk, run, jump, and then he does climb onto things as well. So let's try just climbing this thing. It has really bad collisions, so he's not going to do a good job, but he can just get on top of it, and then he can jump off. So this means we're going to have a lot more control over platforming, and that's going to be really fun. Oh yeah, the time. Don't worry about that. I know it's 25, and that's not possible, but that's just to test and see if the widget works. That's, yeah, and if you've noticed, that's not connected to the sky either, so don't worry about that. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the grass is pretty nice. So, implementing a roll when jumping from high enough. So, rolling was actually a thing in the game, but I removed it because I thought it was too much for the game. It's especially useful for combat because you can do Dark Souls style rolls, but I'll have a look at it. I'll see if I can put it back on if we see that it would make it interesting. So to quickly go over the grass, I'm actually working on connecting this grass to the sky. So currently we have 2 different wind values that control the grass wind movement that is connected to the trees. So if the trees are swaying a lot, the grass will move faster, but it's not connected to the sky, to the clouds. So we're going to connect all of these together. It's a really simple thing to do, but I just haven't had the time to go over it. But what that would mean is that on a windy day, the clouds move fast, the wind on the grass moves fast, and you can actually see the trees moving as well. Global atmospheric system, which I'm a sucker for. I love good atmospheres in games, so you can expect a lot of time spent on making the perfect atmosphere in SunnySide. I was going to show you guys the wind because you guys talked about it. It's just in... Did I just remove the code for it the other day though? Because I wanted to oh no, it's here. It's fine. So this is called the wind intensity system. It's just a very basic code. Really simple stuff. What it does is that every now and then it changes the wind value based on how windy that day is. So for example, I can tell it to let's say every 5 to 10 seconds change the wind value to where is it? Where did I put the code? Oh, it's just up here. Change the wind value from 1 to 5. 5 is crazy, like really windy. But just to show you guys how that would look. And it's also connected to an audio system, which I made a video about that. So yeah, we have audio. So if I just put the character here, you should be able to see the grass moving faster and the trees swaying with it any second now. Let me just go through the comments. Oh, there we go. We have a poll. Oh my god, Persona 4 is winning. There we go. You can hear the wind starting to take up. Yeah. I hope it goes higher up so you guys can see a really like extreme wind condition. You know what? I'm just gonna change it to just 4 to 5. So a super windy day, it's gonna look like this. You can see how fast it goes through. But it's connected to the trees, which makes it all work together really nicely. Next thing I was gonna go over is the new UI design I've been working on. So every now and then when I get tired or bored, actually, I just redesign the whole UI. But I can promise you guys this is the last time. This is the time that, oh, Persona 5 won. Damn. I kind of was expecting it because, you know, just 1 vote higher. Nice. Yeah, so this time, this is the UI design we're going for the final game, because everything I designed before this was for a game that was much smaller. We didn't have all this Kickstarter backing. We didn't have 800 and something people really, you know, backing the game, spending money on it. So we wanted to also up the quality. Some people say that the quality is already quite high up, but you know, there is room for improvement, right? Especially in the UI department, which is kind of like, I guess UI is my specialty. And so you guys have seen the clock. I can't speak today. You guys have seen that before in Discord, but if you guys notice, I've added a stamina bar and a health bar under it. The stamina bar used to be there at the bottom, right? Before, but I moved it up there because I think it's much more snug, it's much better place. But now it opens up space for phone notifications. So your phone notifications are going to show up down there. So if somebody messages you, kind of like GTA, I guess, it would show up there and then shows you a notification. It will go away, but an icon will stay up to tell you that, hey, you have a text, you should probably check your phone. And it's, you know, the clock is not angled right now. Don't read too much into that. I've just put it straight because it's easier to program it and easier to move things around when it's not in an angle. Wouldn't it make more sense to have the health bar above the stamina bar? So the reason it's under it is because I mean, I can just move it around if I want to, but you actually won't have a health bar if you're playing on peaceful. There's no point for it, and you can't really, well, you don't die, you just faint, quote unquote. But yeah, that's the reason it's under it, so you can hide it easily. And I'm thinking of changing it from a bar to actual like hearts, kind of like Zelda, maybe. Again, debating. But there's another thing that I haven't showed you guys. So I'm changing the inventory. So this is what it looks like now. You know, typical. It looks so much like Zelda, and it's because Zelda was my inspiration for it. But I thought we should unify all the UIs, we should unify all the designs. So everything is going to be a phone app, right? We have this whole thing with having a phone and being an app and everything. Obviously, you don't have to press F to bring up your phone and then choose inventory. You can do that if you want to, but we're still going to let you do that with a hotkey, which is tab. And yeah, I've redesigned the inventory, and this is what it looks. No, that's not what it looks. This is what it looks like. So if I hide that, and if you press F, there we go. As you can see, it kind of looks a lot more like a phone app in landscape. Obviously, we're not you know, evil enough to give you an inventory that size on the side. No, it's just going to be, you know, when you press inventory, your phone's going to turn around, zoom in, and then this is going to show up, which is going to be your new inventory. So that's the name of the app up there. You have a reception bar there, which actually works. You know, depending on where you are in the map, you might not have reception. And there's a time, obviously. And instead of battery, we thought that there's no need for battery, so we're just showing you stamina and health. And if you hover over it, it's going to tell you exactly how much you have in numbers, health, and stamina left. Yeah, let's see if you guys are asking any questions. Ultra wide aspect ratio, yes. So we're making all the UIs and stuff with a in a way that you can change the screen size to anything you like. So it's going to support ultra wide. So that's, yeah, I can confirm that. Keep the bar. All right, yeah, I'll do that. Is it going to be controller support for PC? Absolutely. Yeah, it won't be on launch though. The controller support will come with the console release. Makes sense. Thank you guys. I'm glad you guys really like it. So Lemon says it looks quite a generous inventory. You actually don't have any of these 3 slots at the start of the game. You only have the hotbar, and you can get them as you upgrade your backpack. But one thing that the reason why the slots are like this and you don't have categories and stuff is because in a game like Zelda, Skyrim, all of those, you have a lot more inventory space, right? In SunnySide, your inventory space is much more akin to Stardew Valley and Minecraft. So all the slots are placed in a way that you can put things in them. So for example, in Skyrim, you have an item, right? You can't put it in a slot, you just have that item. But in Minecraft, that item is in a specific slot in your inventory. So that's the style we're going for, and that's why we don't have category selected. We're going to have a sort option, which will sort them by category. But yeah, that's why it looks like this. The top one is the hotbar. You can switch your hotbar as well. So for example, you can have tools up here. You can have, well, actually no, we have your tools aren't actually in your inventory. That's the difference that SunnySide has to Stardew, for example. You can have, I don't know, crops up here. You can have animal products down here. You can have gems down here, and then you can switch the hotbar without opening your inventory when you're outside. And on the left, we have the place that you can put anything from your inventory that is something wearable onto your character. So if it's a t-shirt, if it's a top, you can put it there. and your character will wear it. And this is inspired by Witcher 3, you might have noticed. Right, so to go over the stuff that your character can wear, as you can see on the top left, we have the accessories. So these are the stuff like glasses, cat ears, tails, I don't know, you know, accessories, hats, a watch maybe. So whatever you put in these, it'll be accessories. And depending on what the accessory is, it will just go in the right place on your character. And then you have an option for a top under, like a t-shirt, and then you have a top over, which is like a jacket or a coat or anything like that. And then you have a bottom option, which can be a skirt, shorts, trousers, anything. And then shoes, again, different types of shoes. And those are the slots you can put stuff in to change that. And yeah, you have your money at the bottom. And this is actually sort of working. Oh, look, it's night in the game. Great. Let's restart it. Right, and I have kind of sort of made this in the game. So this is what it looks in engine. It's sort of functioning. But I was working on this today and I couldn't finish it for the stream. But, you know, I can show you guys, like, if I take his clothes off. That didn't sound right. If I remove his shit... No, I can't say it in a way that it won't sound really horribly bad. If I remove the static mesh for his top... You guys won't be able to see it. No, please don't hack. Please don't ban me. Right, there we go. It doesn't have anything on the top, and then if you just open inventory, you know, you can plop it down there, and he's wearing it now. Obviously, in the final game, see, we don't even have a texture for the icon, so, you know, that's how early it is. But your character's just not going to be completely oblivious to that fact you just changed your clothes. They're going to be like, oh, change the clothes, you know, like Sims. You know, they're going to have an animation that they look down on the clothes that you just changed, and it's going to have some cool effects and all that. Yeah. So, actually, wait, I had an idea. So we have, hold your questions. We had a new track. We have a new soundtrack in our game. This is going to be, well, for now, we're thinking this is going to be the town's night theme. It might be used for something else in the future, but it's a new track, and I want to reveal it over here on the stream. So I'm going to take you guys somewhere nice on the map, and then I'm going to play it for you guys, so you guys can hear it for the very first time. Yeah, so in the meantime, feel free to write your questions in the chat while we listen to the song, and I'll be back with you guys after the song is done. So, what do you guys think? I was reading chat as that was playing, so I'm glad you guys really like it. It's super funky, super cool, and you know, we wanted the night city theme to sound really, you know, not quiet, because there's city night life going on. There's people going to the bar at night. There are things happening. There are neon signs around. Not like a city, but you know, it's a small town, but it's a Japanese town, so there's like lots of stuff. And so I sent Matthew Plastic Love. I don't know if you guys know that song. It's a really nice track from a genre called city pop to Matthew. And then 2 weeks later, that's the longest he has taken to come back with the track with me. But it was like, I got it. And so he sent me this, and I was vibing so hard, and I'm glad you guys were too. And yeah, so there are going to be different versions of this song. So I told Matthew to make a lo-fi version of this to use in a different situation. So maybe if you go in a shop at night, it will kind of slowly translate into a lo-fi version of this. But yeah, and as for a sax solo, and yes, I'm a sucker for jazz and Persona songs and stuff. So yeah, there's going to be a song with jazz, with saxophone in it. So let's go over the questions. One of you asked, I asked earlier, but I think it was missed. Oh, sorry about that. Will clothing be body specific, or can you wear whatever? So we're trying to work on a system that would allow you to wear whatever clothes you want. I'm not sure if it's possible, or at least I don't know how to program it that way. But currently, clothes are body specific. So we have a feminine body and a masculine body, and the clothes are you know, if you have a masculine body, you can only put on masculine clothes. If you have a feminine body, you can only put on feminine clothes. Obviously, this is not very, what's the word? This is not optimal. So if we find a way to go over this, you know, change this, we'll definitely do it. But you can imagine, because the mesh of the clothes won't really fit around both models, especially because the figures are completely different. Yeah, so that's the answer to that. This chat, I wish it didn't auto scroll. Can I just turn off auto scroll? Pause chats. Whatever. Just go through. But yeah, the soundtrack had a lot of Persona 5 inspirations as well, so I'm glad. Persona 4 as well. So another inspiration for this track was A Sky Full of Stars from Persona 4, which is a night theme from Persona 4. Yeah. So will clothes affect relationships, gain influence with characters, and will there be a stat for such clothing schemes like cool, cute, classy? Currently, no. The clothes will give you some sort of protection in terms of, you know, the fighting stuff, but it does sound like a sensible thing to add to the game, especially to give more value to the peaceful mode of the game. Currently, no, but we're looking to adding something similar. Possibly, if not on release, definitely as an update. Let's see. There was a oh, when will there be a female character model? So the next thing that our character model is going to be working on is the female character, and yeah, either next one or the one after that, because we want to have an NPC so that we can program stuff. So he might create another NPC for us. So he might recreate Lucy in our own original style. But you are going to see the female main character within the next month, within the next 30 days. So that's something. And one more thing about the characters that I forgot to mention is that in Photoshop I have it open actually. So yeah, so on the left is what it is currently. So again, we're still adjusting the model, we're fixing the eyes, we're fixing the shape. So on the right is what we're trying to make. So I give a break to our character modeler Alan over the weekend because he's been working so hard throughout the week. So when he comes back on Monday, he's going to make him look like this, which is, I think, a lot more appealing than the left one. Will there be an oversized hoodie in the game? Definitely. Yeah. You know, Lauren's a huge fan of oversized hoodies, so yeah. Are the clothes going to be somewhat like Breath of the Wild, where certain clothes give you more stamina, warmth, or whatever else? So, again, following the last question, we really want clothes to give you much more than just protection. And, you know, adding a temperature gauge to the game is still very much on the table. But yeah, we're either going to do that, or we're going to do the cute, cool style thing to, you know, score you some points with people, maybe. I don't know. Obviously, the social sim aspect of the game is very persona-like, so people really just kind of have their own arc that progresses as you talk to them. But it sounds like something interesting to add, especially, you know, it can be kind of like, since we're talking about Persona, you know how in Persona you have your stats like knowledge, proficiency, and all of those. It can be similar to that, so maybe it adds to your proficiency, or it adds to your knowledge somehow, you know, or you at least look more knowledgeable if you're, for example, wearing a suit and a tie. Casino, yes, somebody asked about a casino, sorry about that. So there's going to be a bar in the game that opens at night, and there's going to be some casino-like machines in there. Pachinko machines, of course. I mean, we can't go into a Japanese-themed game without pachinko machines. But, like, yeah, there's going to be some mini-games for some casino-type games. I would really love to add the ability to play card games with the other NPCs. I'm not going to promise it because it's quite a hard thing to do. But I will let you guys know how that would progress. How much will weather affect the environment? Like in high winds, are you planning for some trees to be able to be blown down? Will crops have different stress tolerances for temperature and wind? So again, this is a question that we discussed a lot in the past, and we just thought it was unfair to, you know, have the weather affect the crops, especially since we have so many different systems working at the same time. Also, let's just change this so that he's not staring into my soul. Yeah, and since we have so many different systems working at the same time, we thought it might just be too much for the players to have to worry about the weather on top of everything else. So your crops won't really get affected by that. Your animals won't like it, so they would stay inside if it's stormy or windy outside. And trees will be blown down. They won't do anything else other than just being blown down. They won't break things, because again, too much and unfair. But they will be, yeah, they will be blown down. Will the backpack upgrades be visible? Yes, absolutely. I hate games that gives you invisible upgrades. Looking at you, Marvel. Marvel? Yeah, Marvel Avengers. Terrible game. Is there a final boss? And is it in any way God? Yeah, so there are going to be a few bosses, yes, you know, in the caves when you're going down into them. Yeah. You know, making enemies is always such a fun thing in game dev, so yeah, I'm going to have some special bosses that you have to defeat in the caves. Okay, so I'm going to go over some of the website stuff, and then we're going to end the stream, let you guys go back to your lives. So the first thing is the website. So if I open up, let's just open up a guest so that I don't get doxed. So RainyGames.co.uk is our website, if you didn't know already. We've worked on it, made it look better, made it more secure. We added HTTPS and all of that, and we've just launched the blogs on our website. So now we're actually going to post our devlogs onto the website as well. The main reason for this is that I know we have Kickstarter, but we thought we need somewhere that, you know, all of our devlogs and all of the updates in the game are in one single place. They look quite nice, so do check RainyGames.co.uk. There's a link down under me, and as you can see, it's quite nice. And yeah. One more thing that I'm doing at the same time on our website is that I'm moving our store, our pre-order store, from BackerKit to our own system, because, you know, BackerKit is awesome, right? I don't have any problem with any of their systems. The only issue with BackerKit is that it doesn't allow me to customize it. And I really wanted to look SunnySide-y. I really wanted to look like our own marketing material. And also, you know, in the future, we want to sell merch. BackerKit doesn't allow you to just add a link that says, oh, buy our merch here. So, you know, I thought of moving everything to our own website. It's not ready yet, But as soon as the Kickstarter money comes in, I can go ahead and move the store from BackYourKid to over here. We're going to be running the pre-order on a sale for a bit longer. So if you guys have missed it, or if you know people who would love to get the game, tell them about the pre-order store while it's cheap. But we have a coffee donation store. How do you actually pronounce that? Is it just coffee? I think it's just coffee. Yeah, so if you want to donate to us directly, because 80 of you, like, we got 80 cups of coffee. Thank you so incredibly much. When I opened this, I did not expect to get any donations, but of course, you guys are so amazing, and thank you so much for donating already. But if you want to donate to us directly, coffee would be the best place. Yeah, coffee. Yeah, that's okay. Kofi. Oh, I used to say Kofi, but then I was like, maybe it's just coffee. Thank you guys for coming and joining this stream. I'm gonna head off, and yeah, I'll talk more with you guys on Discord. If you haven't joined, join. It's a really nice community, and I will catch you all in the next stream. Take care. Bye.